The first person I heard speak about the COVID vaccine from this perspective was Dan Duvall with Bride Ministries in Katy, Texas. He had a prayer that outlined what he believed was inside the COVID vaccine. I was shocked. Snake venom, Luciferase, aborted fetal material, all kinds of wickedness and evil are associated with the vaccine. Evil spider AI that reboots the vaccine and run protocols, namely super soldier, pornography, just to mention a few, a grid and a distributed ledger that keep this system rebooting and driving my body. In essence, a transport system capable of hijacking the human body. At that point, I didn't know what to think. I only knew I needed to repent. Looking back over my life, I realized that many of the terrible decisions I had made weren't due to my being unintelligent. They weren't because I wanted evil. They came from living without a relationship with God and without guidance or covering. I believed I was making good decisions. In reality, I was listening to counsel that wasn't from God. When a person becomes their own authority, instead of seeking God's authority, they begin following another kind of counsel. Looking back, I recognized that pattern throughout my own life. That's when I realized I had once again made a decision that was an abomination before the Lord. It wasn't enough that I had gone through abortions, participated in occult practices, gone into New Age beliefs, and practiced Islam. Now, I had also taken something that many people were calling the mark of the beast. At that time, I was deeply involved in studying Messianic Judaism. I even spent time with a group that identified themselves as Black Israelites because I was searching for God anywhere I thought I might find him. I remember joining an online meeting where a woman named Celestial, whom I know as a prophet, was speaking. During that meeting, they discussed the COVID vaccine. They said that if you had taken it, you were essentially doomed. According to them, you would never go to heaven. There was nothing anyone could do for you. I remember another woman on that call asking, "So you're telling me I'm not going to heaven? Does that mean I'm basically dead?" The answer she received was, "Yes, pretty much." I became angry, not simply because I had taken the vaccine myself, but because I watched hope leave that woman. She disconnected from the meeting. I have no idea what happened to her afterward. I confronted the group leading that discussion. I told them they were not God. Many people took the vaccine without believing they were rejecting God. To tell someone there was absolutely no hope left for them was, in my view, shutting the door to God's mercy. That deeply troubled me. I refused to accept another person's final verdict over my soul. I believed only God could make that judgment. That experience also taught me something. There is danger in following people who believe they have all the answers instead of continuing to seek God themselves. After that day, I never attended another one of those meetings. My journey continued. I was still working through my own past. I was still confronting family issues. I was still trying to understand this question surrounding the vaccine. No matter how many times I tried to move past it, I kept returning to it because something about it never settled in my spirit. I couldn't explain why. I simply couldn't let the question go. Eventually, I joined a church here in Seattle whose members had chosen not to take the vaccine. They had experienced persecution because of that decision. Even there, however, no one really understood what I was experiencing. They prayed. They ministered deliverance. They cast out demons. Once again, I found myself confessing my sins even though, by that point, I had spent years confessing, repenting, and bringing everything I knew before the Lord. By then, it was 2026. I had laid everything before God. Nothing was hidden. I stood completely exposed before my Father. And I believed then, as I do now, that He alone forgives sin.